25th for the Sun Prairie Volunteer Fire Department. How about a hand for the weather? Folks, real quick, because we are a very traditional organization and we feel it's very important for us to first honor our country before we participate in anything like this. So I'd ask everybody to stand, and non-uniform employees, please remove your hats for the Pledge of Allegiance, and please help us with this. The flag is very important to us. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, folks, have a seat. Thank you so much for coming. It is great to see this great turnout that we've got going here. We're really excited about this. We'll go through a little bit of pomp and circumstance before we have all our fun. And again, it's really great to see everybody here. Before we get started, I'd like to give out a special thanks to Captain Miller and to firefighter Matt Scoville, without whom none of this would have been possible. Let's put it together for the two of them. Really, really do appreciate it. Just fantastic job, and this turnout is better than we ever could have hoped. And we really do appreciate you having me. So this is the part where I've been asked to pontificate on how we go forward, and mostly I just talk all the time. So I'll try to be too general for the rest of you. The fire service is comprised of a lot of different sayings. Most of them are corny. Most of them should be left on the back of T-shirts or really unfortunate tattoos. But there's one that's really not too shabby. It's done by the poet Franklin P. Jones, and that was, bravery is being the only one who knows that you're afraid. And this is a saying that I typically give to my son, or in cases like this where we have to talk in front of a giant group of people. Hopefully I'm the only one that knows that I'm afraid to do this. We really do put our best foot forward on someone else's worst day, and that's what we've all come forward to do here. We thank you so much for being able to give us a hand here. We've come a long way in the last 125 years. The fire service, by nature, is reactionary. Usually we find out that we need to do something after somebody else does something bad. And our beginnings were no different than that. We were started as a reaction to the Nicholas Barth residence fire in February of 1891. By April, the village had gotten together and decided to allocate us $225 to get a set of hooks, ladders, and trucks from a Chicago equipment company, along with 22 men at the time, to start the Sun Prairie Hook and Ladder Company. It was 125 years ago last April, and we've been managed to be able to sojourn on ever since. We had 25 fire buckets. We had a population of 704. And our alarm, as you see these pages that we're wearing here today, our alarm was a large bell and a long rope attached to the sidewalk area right in front of City Hall. And that's how we knew that there was a fire going on there. So we've come quite a ways at this point. How to put it? The poet and playwright John Gottfried Sachs once said, "If Prometheus was worthy of the wrath of heaven for kindling the first fire upon earth, how ought all the gods honor the men who make it their professional business to put it out?" And without waxing too philosophical on it, that's essentially why we are here today. We have standing on the shoulders of phenomenal men and women up until this point. And we only work as hard as we have because people like you have supported us every inch of the way, and we cannot thank you enough. So, with all that for closing, I'm going to turn you over to Chief Garrison, who's so much better at this than I am, I got to tell you. So, you all take care.
Thank you to our president, and just real quick, I want to take 1 second to recognize all the honorees that we have here. The past firefighters, the people who got us here of the Sun Prairie Volunteer Fire Department. Please, if you can, stand up and be recognized. God bless you all, because you are why we're here and you are why we're able to exist. Hey, Chief Seltzer, stand up and wave, please. Come on, stand up. How about it, Joe? Thank you. All right. You know, we can't do this as an organization, and we can't be an organization without partnerships. And one of the great partners that we have is the city of Sun Prairie. And I've been just so embraced by the leadership of the city and the townships that it's been absolutely amazing to have people like this. So our next person who'd like to come out and talk today is Mayor Esser, who's been a great supporter of our organization. How about giving up a guy who's just stood by us and is a big supporter of ours, and will be in the dunk tank at 4 o'clock.
Thank you, Chief. Well, it is a pleasure to be here with you today on this beautiful day and to celebrate this special event with you. If you're from outside of Sun Prairie, I want to welcome you here today, and I hope you have some time to look around our community while we're here. There's a lot going on in Sun Prairie, and if you're from Sun Prairie, it is nice to have you here with us today. This is a special day for us as we celebrate 125 years of the Sun Prairie Volunteer Fire Department serving our community. I want to begin my comments by making an obvious point, and probably one you're going to hear several times today. That is, 125 years is a long time. The internet says there may have been a few people that have lived to be 125 years old, but that's very rare and unusual. 125 years ago in 1891, Queen Victoria was the Queen of England, Benjamin Harrison was the President of the United States, and Alonzo Cobb was the President of the village of Sun Prairie. All of this seems like a long time ago, as if it's from a different era, and that is how long the Sun Prairie Volunteer Fire Department has been serving our community. To be able to celebrate 125 years of the fire department is indeed remarkable. Sun Prairie Fire Department, Volunteer Fire Department, is an interesting organization. The name might make you think it's a division of the city government, but that is not the case. It has the name of Sun Prairie, but the department is a separate corporation, not part of the city of Sun Prairie. Sun Prairie Volunteer Fire Department is a separate organization that contracts with 4 communities to provide fire services. Those 4 communities are the town of Sun Prairie, town of Bristol, town of Burke, and the city of Sun Prairie. Sun Prairie Volunteer Fire Department has its own leadership board that oversees the operations of the department, and the women and men that volunteer and work for the department are employees of the Sun Prairie Volunteer Fire Department, not of the city of Sun Prairie. This is an interesting arrangement that has existed for 125 years and remains effective today. As we look into the future, you may well ask, well, what is the future of the Sun Prairie Volunteer Fire Department? Will it be here for another 125 years, this separate and independent organization? And I'd say to you, that is a good question. The communities serviced by the department vary greatly. One is the city of Sun Prairie is urban, the townships tend to be rural. The city is characterized by rapid growth, the townships by steady growth. This puts a great deal of pressure on the department and the services that it needs to provide. But balancing these conflicting needs is not new to the department. It has been doing that for 125 years. If we went back 125 years, this area of Wisconsin would be characterized by farms. And the village of Sun Prairie at that time had a population of 704 people. Now the city of Sun Prairie is 32,000 people and growing rapidly. The department has figured out how to make that work for 125 years. It is my wish that the department continues to exist for another 125 years, just the way it's organized today. But for that to happen, the 4 communities need to have a strong working relationship. And I am here to tell you today that those 4 communities indeed are putting a great deal of effort into forging that working relationship and will continue to do so. The leaders of those communities meet periodically to discuss matters of mutual interest. The most pressing issue is always finances, and right now we are evaluating how we can make that equitable for all 4 communities into the future. And I believe that we will figure out how to make that work. As the mayor of the city of Sun Prairie, I want you to know that I am committed to seeing that the city remains part of this partnership. I am confident that another 125 years of the Sun Prairie Volunteer Fire Department is a realistic expectation. And finally, to the women and men of the Sun Prairie Volunteer Fire Department, I want to say thank you to you for the 125 years of devoted and faithful service you have provided to our communities. I've had the opportunity to meet all of you and see many of you as you go about your duties with the department. And I am continually impressed with how devoted you are to providing the services to the community. And I realize this is no minor commitment on your part. It requires many hours of training and servicing of the vehicles and equipment in the station. It requires you to serve shifts at the station so that there is somebody always on hand 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, including weekends and holidays. And this is a commitment that not only you make, but it also requires the support of your families. And we appreciate their willingness to let you serve. You are an impressive group of people, and on behalf of the entire community, I want to thank all of the firefighters serving now and from the past for all you do for us. We appreciate the support you have provided to us for the past 125 years and look forward to another 125 years of faithful, dependable service. Thank you and happy anniversary, Sun Prairie Volunteer Fire Department. And to all of you, thank you for being out here. Thank you for your attention. Have a good time in this beautiful day. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, another quick few words from Representative Harry Hebl.
Thank you, Chris. It's really an honor to be here today. I grew up here in Sun Prairie, and this is known as Fireman's Park, as you all know. And as a matter of fact, where you're sitting right now is where I took swimming lessons in this huge pool that was L-shaped, and it was the pride of the whole county. It was a gorgeous swimming pool that was the responsibility and provided for by the Sun Prairie Fire Department. In addition, playing in this park over here, we had equipment that was second to none. Although none of it would pass OSHA today, it was the wonderful equipment that we had. It scared the daylights out of you, really. Many of you know I grew up in a large family. I have 11 brothers and 5 sisters. We all grew up here in Sun Prairie, and their names are Frank, Bill, Judy, Bob, Jim, Tom, Fred, John, Gary, Mary, Paul, Pat, Joe, Jane, Lynn, Jackie, and Jeffrey. So, my dad, who was a fireman, volunteer fireman, he had the concession for the programs during the races. So we as kids growing up, the way we made money was Sunday nights, we came down and sold programs. And believe it or not, when I was 8 years old, I got my walking papers to sell programs in the stands. Now, again, child labor laws would not allow that, but frankly, it was one of the best educations I could ever have had in terms of dealing with people, dealing with money, and although to this day, around 4 o'clock on Sunday, I continue to pray for rain because of the fact I'd be selling programs. My brother was a volunteer fireman, my brother Tom, until his wife got so upset with him because every time he came back from a fire, he wore his suit because he's a lawyer as I am, and he'd come home with holes in his pants or his shirts, so she asked him in a very firm way to discontinue being a fireman. My father of 16, 17 kids, he was also a fireman, and he loved being a fireman. Maybe it was his escape, who knows. But we grew up in the gingerbread house right across the street from the fire department. And I can, to this day, I can see my dad running out of the house, pulling his pants up, just getting his zipper zipped, his shirt getting on. He was racing to the fire station because he loved fighting fires. And many of you here have the same story of what it was like in Sun Prairie in terms of fighting fires. Also, when I was a kid, one of the exciting things we did as a family, and I shouldn't tell this to the chief, but we used to go to the fires. We didn't have TV when I was young. We were looking for things to do. So we'd run over to the fire station, which was across the street, and on the chalkboard, they would write down where the fire's at. The fire's out at Highway C at 19. Well, a lot of times we were at the fire before the fire department was there. So the fire department decided to send out decoys. They'd put down wrong information so the Hebls didn't make it to the fire before the fire department did. Anyway, I have so many stories. I love the fire department. They have made Sun Prairie the community that it is. The volunteer work that the Sun Prairie Volunteer Fire Department has done is unbelievable to the quality of life that we have here. And in honor of your 125 years of service, of anniversary, I know none of you were here 125 years ago, although a couple of you look like you might have been able to do that. In honor of that, I have a plaque from the legislature. And if I may, I'd like to present that to Chief Garrison, if he would come over. Chief, this is a plaque from the state of Wisconsin. It's a certificate of commendation. This certifies that it's presented by State Representative Gary Hebl of 46th Assembly District to the Sun Prairie Fire Department in recognition of their 125th anniversary and for the outstanding dedication, commitment, and service to the citizens of the City of Sun Prairie and townships of Burke, Bristol, and Sun Prairie, dated today. Chief? One other thing, Chris, if I may. One of the advantages I have of being up at the Capitol is that we fly flags over the Capitol. And in honor of this momentous event, I want to give Chief Garrison a U.S. flag and a Wisconsin flag that was flown over the Capitol in Madison. Chief? Thank you all very much. Congratulations. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
All right, let me catch my breath. But I'd like to first thank everybody for coming out today. My name is Matt Scoville, along with Scott. Him and I have co-organized this event, and I'd like to thank all of you guys for being here. We got some stuff going on today. After you guys get some grub inside your bellies, we got cornhole outside. That tournament is going to start at 2 o'clock. There's still spots available. Our car show is underway very well. Got a lot of fire trucks, bikes, and cars and trucks out there, so get out there and take a look at those. Down through the gate, there's no alcohol. Please do not take alcohol beyond the gate. Beyond the gate, there is an event. It's called Water Ball. A lot of the people in the fire service know what that is. It's a lot of fun. It's open to the public. There's registration table down there. It's free to get in. Please go and watch or please participate. If you have any questions, you can feel free to find any Sun Prairie firefighter today. Again, thank you for coming out. Chief?
Thanks, Matt and Scott. Let's say a few words, just a few. Honor Ante Omnia. It's this sign that you see in front of us that truly dedicates who we are as an organization, that this group of people and the people of people past have not forgotten where we've come from in this organization. I'm going to tell you folks that I've been in the fire service for a long time, and I came here from in Hold the Booze, Illinois, but my own people. I have found a home in Wisconsin because I've been embraced by the people here so well and so gratefully, and I've never been more honored to be a part of an organization in my entire life, and it's because of these people right here. Folks, we do provide you service 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We are still a volunteer fire department in source because every person here, for every hour they get paid to be here overnight or be here during the day, they give you folks 10 hours on their own. These are true volunteers, and the heart of the volunteer still exists in the city and the towns of Sun Prairie. There's so many people here that I would like to recognize, but I can't recognize them all. So if I forget you, I'm sorry. But the people who have embraced me, besides who we have on the stage and these folks over here, Doug Yell from the Northeast Dane County Fire. He has been an amazing representative of town of Burke, the town of Sun Prairie, and the town of Bristol. He is our partner, and it's only partners that can make this thing work. It's not these people up here who dictate the service you get. It's you people out there. The next person I need to thank is probably one of the humblest, most decent guys I've met in my life. I've only known him for 10 months, but he's been an amazing mentor to me, and you folks have, and I will not do that Freudian slip, the best police department in the state of Wisconsin. Pat Angell, I want to thank you for everything that you've done. Not only that, we've got an amazing group of alders here. I've had the opportunity to meet with almost each and every one of them for a couple hours a day to explain what we do. These are folks who want to be educated on the fire department, and they're the folks that are going to help us get to the future of where we need. They're helping me with staffing, and they're doing everything they can to make this fire department whole and complete. They've done an amazing job, and some of them are staying. Please stand up. Our alders, please. They've been just great for us. Again, I can't thank everybody, but here's what I want to do. I want to stop yakking. I want to put down this microphone and I want to start the festivities, but I can't do that until I do one thing. The person who helped me get here more than anybody, my girlfriend, Michelle. I love you. I'm going to get her out to Wisconsin in about 7 months when her daughter goes to UW. So, folks, and then K-Sun, we've got a radio show on K-Sun every other Friday, please. And the last thing I want to do is just name out a couple of things that we've done since we've been here and mention one more person. I'm sorry. We are not truly firefighters anymore, folks. It's changed. Life has changed. And fires are down. Why are fires down, people ask. People think you don't need as many firefighters because fires are down. No, their fires are down because what these people over here do on a daily basis. Firefighting is now about fire prevention and public education. We are out in the public every day. Help me out, Mr. Wheelhouse. We are out in the public every day educating. Only I can blow out a microphone. We are out in the public every day doing things like every Monday, Meals on Wheels, where we get out into the elderly homes and we help the elderly. We replace their smoke detectors and we do some great things. Friday nights at the Y, a team opportunity with the YMCA, where kids between the ages of 13 to 18 can come out and play basketball. It gets kids off the streets. We're averaging 50 to 100 kids every week off the street, having something to do and being mentored. our radio program that we talked, our Remembering When program that's just starting up very soon. I can't say enough about the public education events that we do. In addition, 15 of our fire department, 15 members, have signed up to train for the new EMR program, which is a medical program that will assist CAP, Sun Prairie EMS, which is awesome too, with helping on emergency medical calls. So folks, if I may, I want to thank my assistant chiefs, Arnie and Bill and Thane, for all the great things that they've done and the great support, and all the members of Sun Prairie Fire Department, because folks, these are the people who do it every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They leave Christmas time. They leave at Thanksgiving dinner. They sacrifice time in their families to be there for you. So, I'm done talking. Thank you, everybody. And Wheelhouse will be your entertainment for the day.